Hello, welcome. So, my name's Amanda. If you've not been here before, Thyravenscauldron. I am your high priestess, your mystic, your healer, your manifestor, your friend. Let's be friends. I don't know, like spirits, God, source, however you want to look at it. I guess whenever they decided that they was making me, he decided he was throwing a little bit of everything in there. Like all kinds of good stuff in the cauldron. And boom. So, anyways, like I've been doing readings, trying to do all signs for the first 2 weeks of December, but I'm taking a break for a minute. And I figured that I would speak about some channeled messages, and who I am, since this is evidently going to be part of my new journey. Oh, he said, you think, oh, I agreed to this? Like, I agreed to this before I was born? Like, really? Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. Like, I've done readings, I've done different things. I've channeled, I've done different things kind of just for myself and close friends or people that know me, or, sometimes I'll end up at somebody's house or meeting them somewhere out in public, and I'm like, hey, listen, I need to tell you something, and it sounds a little crazy. So I've kind of done that, but here we are. So, hello. The first message that divine source, spirit, God wanted me to give, and it was kind of funny how he showed me this, but it was to kind of help put things into terms, to easier terms, about good and bad and everything, right? So funny, like the Wizard of Oz. Okay, so we're all Dorothy. We're Dorothy, and we're trying to get to the wizard. We're trying to get home. Ultimately, we're trying to get home, right? Okay, so, like, he was showing me that, our path. Each one of us have our own paths. The yellow brick road, and ultimately, we need to stay on the yellow brick road. Okay, and this is life and our paths. And he wants us to love everybody. It's kind of like her, and here she is, she's being nice and sweet, and she's loving everybody, and she, looking at all these amazing things in Oz, and, it's how we're supposed to look at the world, with amazement, because it's magical. But not only that, like, she's got the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and Lion. She's picking up these people on the way because she ultimately wants to care and show kindness and compassion and love. And that is how we are supposed to be, right? And a lot of times, I have to get a lighter. Hold on. Bear with me. Oh, there it is. Okay, so a lot of times we get to where it's hard for us to say no to, right? So ultimately, we're supposed to love ourselves, and we're supposed to set boundaries. But also at the same time, be compassionate and loving to others. And we can be compassionate and loving and set boundaries. It's hard. But your soul knows what's good and what it needs. And whenever you're telling someone yes, when your soul is screaming no, then ultimately you need to, tell them no. And you can do it nicely. You can tell people things nicely with love. And that's what God wants. Like, he wants us to be the embodiment of love. But we have got to love ourselves. Okay, so back to the world and the Wizard of Oz, right? So our path, the yellow brick road, we're supposed to follow the yellow brick road. Okay, and in life, there is good and there is evil. Just like we've got Glinda, the good witch, I think. And then we've got the bad witch, good and bad. Okay, that's like me. Let me see my tattoo. Okay, I've always said that I'm a witch. And a witch is supposed to be a woman of knowledge, a wise woman of knowledge, right? And all these things that I've done, all these, herbs and rocks and my tarot cards, a lot of people look at that as that's wrong, that that's the devil. It's not. It's how you use it, right? So, when Source created, okay, so when God created, Source created, and I say Source, I say God, I say Spirit, and it's because God, there's only one, right? But there's so many religions, and that's okay, that's great. Okay, so he goes by many names, but there's one. And I don't care if you are worshiping God, if you worship Mary, if you worship Odin, Thor, Freya, and then whatever other religions, I don't know. And it really don't matter because God is God, right? So, the first 7 days that the world was created, this matrix that we live in, there's a lot of science that goes into the world. And I'm not a science person. Like, I went through earth science my whole high school, like all 4 years. Which it wasn't my fault, actually. Like, I would let people that I knew, friends, copy off of me. And they made A's, and I was failed. And finally, 12th grade, Mr. Deal decided to go ahead and let me pass. By then, I had my degree in earth science. But, oh, gosh. Anyways, it was so funny. And, they thought it was hilarious, too. The ones that, got A's, and here I got an F. And I'm just like, really? Geez, great. But that's besides the point. I'm not great at science anyways. But there's a lot of science that goes into the world and creation. But whenever, the 7 days, he created everything, right? Which includes all these rocks, all these stones, this water, the moon, all these things that we use, he created. And he created them for us to use. It's like trees. Trees make paper. Paper makes tarot cards. He created all of this for us to use. Okay, and it's just like anything else. You can use it for good, or you can use it for bad. Okay, I choose to use this for good. I don't understand why anybody would want to use magic as, badly. Like, why? Why would you want to do something to someone else? I mean, number one, if you want to face them consequences, have at it. Because it's going to come back and it's going to bite you in the ass. I mean, that's number one. But I don't see why anybody wants to do such things. But, they do. Anyways, besides that point, back to the yellow brick road. Good and bad. So, we're supposed to stay on the yellow brick road. And, like I said, there's good and bad. There's good and bad in everything. The ultimate goal is to seek the wizard and to make it home, right? We're seeking God, the divine. We're seeking the divine, the creator, and we're trying to make it home, okay? But to do this, we are supposed to be the embodiment of love, and he wants us to remember to stay on our path, right? And no matter what, like Dorothy, they was at that little house, cabin, I don't know what it is. Like, I can see it in my mind right now. He's showing it to me. They're there, and, the evil witch has sent all the flying monkeys at them, and it's so scary. They're getting ready, they're in the forest, I think. They're getting ready to go in the forest. But it is so scary, right? He wants us to always remember that even when we fear things, that it's okay. Because he is with us. We may not be able to see him, but he is with us. We are made in his image, right? He made us in his image. And he's with us, you know. He's not leaving us. Even whenever you can't hear him, he's got us. Like, you can't hear him talking to you. You think he's ignoring you, whatever. He's still listening, you know. Imagine your kids. And how they do, how they act. You know, there's times that you got selective hearing, but you're still hearing them. You may not be answering them, but you still hear them, right? And that's how he is. He's got selective hearing at times. He's still listening. He may not be answering. And that's okay. But when we fear, he wants us to always know he's with us and that we will get through it. He's going to make for sure that we get through it. There may be challenges, yes. There is always challenges, but it's for our own benefit. It is for self-growth, to make us better, to make us stronger, to make us who we are supposed to be, right? So, and this is something that he had me do recently. Like, I try to walk every day, and he took me, like, and I walk through town. Okay, there's a ball field in our town. And I usually, like, by the time I get to walk, it's dark. So, it's late. And he's, like, had me go on this whole big journey. It was a night. I'll just put it that way. But he's got me going over to the ball field. And it is late. It is dark. And he's like, that's where you're going. You need to go over there. I'm like, really? Okay, let's go. Okay, I get over there, and it's for me to go into the bathroom. Okay, I go in the bathroom. There, you know, like, what I noticed is a lightning bolt, a sticker that's in the floor. And I was like, okay. Well, I come back out, you know, and I'm like, why am I here? Well, all of a sudden, okay, the woods behind this bathroom and ball field, it sounds like there is something enormous charging out of it, coming at me, like it's coming to get me. Like, it was scary, you know. And then there's all this stuff falling out of the trees, and you know, myself, I'm wanting to run, wanting to bolt out of there, you know, gone. That lightning bolt, gone. Okay. But he's like, no, stand here, stand still. You know, you're facing this. You can't go nowheres. Okay, great. So I'm standing there, and I'm waiting to see, like, it sounded like, you know, a charge of elephants coming out of the woods. You know, going to be coming at me is what I'm waiting on. And all this stuff falling out of these trees. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, and then it all quits. Then he says, see, I've got you. In the scariest of times, I've got you. Know that. So, that is what he wants us to know. He has got us. When we are scared, he is there. He has got us. And he will get us through. And like I said, the ultimate goal, no matter what, is for us to stay on our path. And we are seeking the wizard and seeking home. Right? So, and it don't matter, you know, like, there's so many things that we get lost in or get distracted in, or even if we fall down or get lost, it's ultimately coming back to that path, right? I don't know why I'm saying right so much, but right. So, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that he's wanting me to say. Okay, no, I guess not. But that's just, like, the main thing. But there's going to be so many different channeled messages. Just stay tuned is all I can say. Because evidently this is what I'll be doing. my mind went blank. It's really nice to have peace. And that's ultimately, too. Like, he wants us all to be peaceful. Oh, that was... Yes, thank you. And he wants us to see the magic in the world. Okay? To look at the things in the world. How beautiful. Like, he created all of this. Go out in nature. Go outside. It will calm you. You know, just take in air. Breathe it from outside. It will calm your soul. Sometimes we need that to ground. And our soul, you know, does need, it knows what it needs, but, like, sometimes we need that. Take it all in. Look up. Don't look at your phone. Put your phone down. Put your phone in your pocket and look up. Look at the trees. Look at the flowers. Like, which right now, you know, we're in winter. There's not a lot of flowers. But look at the trees. Which that's another message that I've got to post. Which is beautiful. Because trees are magical. Everything is magical. The world is a very magical place. And we're here to enjoy it. Like, he wants our inner child to come out. So this bliss. He wants us to be blissful and to be happy and to enjoy what he's created for us. And, you know, we get so lost in all the bad. And that's not good. Like, the world wants us to be lost. You know, they want to make us worry. I don't even watch the news. I could care less about the news. And I hate to say that because I love people. And, you know, I don't want nothing happening to anybody. But the news scares us. And that's, you know, kind of what it's there for. Is to keep us in these down vibrations. To keep us down. To look for the bad. And it's not good. And that's like, okay, like here recently, the food stamps, you know, government being shut down, and everybody panicking about food stamps. And then, listen, he's going to make for sure you eat. Know that, you know, as long as you have faith, the size of a mustard seed, it can move mountains. He will make for sure that you eat. He's going to make for sure that you get what you need. Okay? It may not be like the most luxurious life, but he makes for sure that you get what you need. He's not going to let you go without. And you've got to know this. Like, it kills me. Like, that's something else that bothers me. Because people look for the bad. That's what I always tell people. How are you looking at your cup? Is it half full or half empty? You know, there's a video on here already about that. We need to be looking at it as it's half full. You look at it half empty, it's going to empty on out. And he don't want that. He wants us to see the good in everything. Everybody needs to start changing their perspective. And it's time to wake up, really. And that's another thing that I'm here for. So I said, who decides before they're born that they're going to take on this task? Obviously me and 144,000 other people. So, and it's time. And it's time for everybody else to wake up. So here we go. Anyways, I hope this finds you well. And I've got to get back to these readings for the rest of the zodiac signs. And then whatever other messages I've got to do. Hopefully we get these up in a couple of days. So, lots of love, and thank you, and I will see you all in the next one.